tricks?
Yes. Wow, it's been a wild one. And when we first started this podcast whole thing, it was like light and happy and penis positivity and those things and fun things. And we've gotten deep. We're on a deep, deep journey. And if you've been going on this journey with us, we're in the shit together, my friends.
Yeah, it's the dark night of the soul over here. It's getting better. If you're into astrology, which I could go back and forth, but I'm in my progressed moon in Scorpio. I'm at the tail end, so I'm like, oh, hopefully this is the last of the shit I'm trudging through for a while before my progressed moon moves into Sagittarius, which is much lighter and happier.
Well, if you're into Chinese astrology, like I'm not very much at all, but this is the year of the snake. And you sent me a really good meme the other day where this is the year that we set our course as a snake, and then next year I
think it was something about like we're shedding our skin.
Shedding our skin.
Like
thank God.
We're like leaving all the shit behind. It's kind of the rough experience, and then next year is the year. Is it the horse? Oh, I was born in the year of the horse.
Nice. I wish I was.
It's gonna be my year.
Yeah. I'm a rat.
Just like my dad.
No. I mean, like that's my sign in Chinese calendar. Oh, Hal, I'm so sorry. He's not a rat at all. He's a rat, like me. That's why we love each other.
You did want to lighten this episode up. I don't know if we...
No, I did say let's lighten it up, and I had some other subject lines, but because we're in it and it just happened and it's raw...
Yeah.
You said that we should just go, and I said yes.
No, I agree, but I just thought...
I'll laugh a lot while I'll tell it.
I thought we could have a little story time first.
Oh, stop it.
What?
A fun story.
I think it's kind of fun.
Okay.
Well, maybe
let's
not.
Laugh and make it fun.
We can always remove it if it's not. But, so we've been talking about Brian's experience most of the time of this whole Italy episode. I mean, obviously, I've been talking about my experience and my stress. But I think we're put in this experience to learn different lessons. Mine that I'm still struggling to learn is how to release control and how to not feel like it's my job to keep the world spinning on its axis. I know I said this was a fun story, but we're not there yet. And just over and over, it's kind of like, I keep getting reminded, like, just release this, kind of like leave this up to God. You control what you can, and there's so many things that you can't. You gotta let it go. And every time that I am able to kind of give things to God or let go of shit, you feel this lightness. But when your whole life you felt like
it's religious now? Are we referring to the greater being as God?
I don't mind using the word God. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual.
But your God can be...
But I do believe in a God. Like, I do believe in...
higher power.
Yeah, I think God, higher power. Yeah, I am reading this book. Sorry, I'm really taking us on a tangent. Called something about Mary Magdalene. And it's this lost gospel of Mary Magdalene, who is the closest person to Christ. And the whole book is basically about how we have left women completely out of religion. We've left women completely out of history. And the women's gospels that got cut from the Bible were all about how you can connect with God on your own. Like, you don't need church to find God. Like, God is within all of us. So that's more of my belief of, like, God is all around us.
I want a book report on this book.
No, we'll do a book report on this book. Anyways, long story short. So I just keep getting tested. So we go to Cabo for my brother's wedding. And my job for my brother's wedding is to get my dad into another country. Why are you looking at me like this?
No. This is a whole episode if you want.
And so my dad has not traveled out of the country in probably about 10 years. And he unfortunately has aged a lot in the past 5 years.
Just a touch. No, Hal, you look great.
Yeah.
Just a touch.
Well, if we don't turn this into a reel, he won't hear it. He stopped working out. He really became sedentary, started watching Fox News. So he's kind of like my adult child, and I had to get him into a new country. So he and his brother come stay the night with us the night before we're going to leave. He's like, yeah, my wife's green.
And his wife.
His wife is Chinese. She has her green card, but it expired recently. And he mentions this to me on a few calls we had before Mexico. And I'm like, well, that seems concerning considering we're leaving the country. He's like, oh, it's fine. I got all the paperwork in progress. Like, it's like, okay. my dad likes drinking. So I knew that there was going to be some alcohol consumed getting us to the airport. And so I wake up and I'm like, well, it's going to make our lives all easier. So I make him like a vodka OJ. And I also wake up and make bacon and toast for everybody because I'm like, and I make sailor's lunch. Like, I'm like, all right, I got to take care of everybody. And I go upstairs to get ready and pack myself. And while I'm upstairs, Brian makes my dad another vodka OJ, didn't you?
No.
Oh.
I he poured himself a goblet of wine.
Okay.
And then I got him a traveler cup. I was like, all right, well, the car's going to be here in a minute. We're going to have to put that and
He
that.
made himself another vodka OJ.
Yes. And then the car's there, you're there, and the goblet of wine is there. And I go to dump it in the sink. And he's like, whack. He's like, no. And he's like, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Like Kool-Aid,
Yeah.
like water.
So I didn't watch any of this go down, but I'm like, okay, I'm stressed out.
I don't know if this is going to be fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not. We can always cut it out, but
Make that long story short.
long story short, we get to the airport.
Hal's drunk.
Hal's already drunk. He refused to eat any of the food I made. And we're all checking in. I'm like, okay, good. We all got our boarding passes. And I look over, and Hal and Jensen are still talking to the guy. A manager's been called in. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? He's like, oh, her green card expired, and they need to make sure the paperwork's in progress. I'm like, why the fuck didn't you bring the paperwork? And he's like, I fucked up. I'm like, yeah, you did fuck up. And they called the manager, can't get her. They're like, sorry, she can't go because if she goes into Mexico, she won't be able to come back into the U.S. So poor
Where was I the whole time? Where was I?
You were standing in the security line, which
Yeah.
was pissing me off.
No, it was a long security line. I'm like, no, I'm gonna get right to the front, and I can see you guys right there. Either she's coming or she's not, but we're gonna be first in line, and we're going to Mexico.
And so my dad's like, oh, I think I need to go home with Jensen. And that was my brother's biggest fear, is that my dad was not going to make it to his
bail?
wedding.
I didn't know he tried to bail.
And I was like, nope, you are getting on this plane. Sorry, Jensen. And I think she was happy. I think she was happy to have a couple days break from Hal.
So this is actually, let's start here. Hey, here we go, podcast. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about my whole issue with guilt here in a second, but let's have a fun story and talk about some of the fun stuff that happened at your brother's wedding in Mexico.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We got your dad down there. His Chinese wife couldn't make it, couldn't get across the border. Lots of drama there. Stressful. We go to one resort first. We have a nice couple days by ourselves. We have your dad hasn't seen his sister in 15 years. The brother, the Harley crew is all together, and then we transfer to the party hotel.
Yeah.
Which is Cabo Surf.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So here's where old dog new tricks gets a little odd. Here's the 53-year-old boyfriend with the 35-year-old. Who was your birthday also?
I was 34 at the time.
34, a day or two away from being 35.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm there with 20 couples who are all in their 30s, right?
Early 30s, because Larson's
early 30s.
3.5, 4 years younger
Yeah,
than me.
right? And I'm like a novelty. I'm like, whoa, she brought the old man with her, right? He's got some restaurants, he's got a little money, he's got on TV or something, but he's fucking old. Like, let's check him out. He doesn't drink. Oh, he'll be fun. These kids are fucking hot, right? They're hot, like they're partying, they're good looking. They're all like at that 30-year-old, life is right in front of them. They're fired up, getting married. Half of them are in good relationships or getting married. I would say 60% of them are probably in couples.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, even more. There was a lot of single guys, but there was like 3 or 4 single girls at the wedding.
So, like I'm saying, we're on the beach. Everyone's in swimsuits. It's all fun. Everyone's having a good time. There's the weird couple where that one girl is dating the older guy who's divorced, and he's pretty cool.
Yeah,
he doesn't look 53 really in his own mind, except for his tired eyes. And to entertain myself, I can either go sit with the old people, the parents, which makes me feel young, right? So I'm in the cross. I have no friends, if you think about it. At my age bracket, there's none. It was either the parents or the 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
So I'm in like my little island here, and I'm not drinking, I'm not on gummies, and so I kind of sit with the old people, and I go, this isn't much fun. So then I kind of get to hang out with the dudes a little bit, and that's kind of more fun. But the funnest thing was listening to your friends and realizing that weddings
Are the Super Bowl for singles.
are the Super Bowl for singles.
Yeah.
And that's when I put my sunglasses on and I was like, now I am entertained. This was spectacular.
Yeah.
I mean, nightly. Who was hunting who? What was going on where? Who was getting too drunk? What was like, who was going to the bathroom? What was going on? There was so much entertainment at this wedding that was thoroughly enjoyed.
And my friend Lauren, she's always been very athletic, and I think she won the Super Bowl this
She got the gold medal. I think she got the gold medal. Yeah. There was a lot of people competing, though. There was a lot of good competition, and it was. But is if it's not a reel, your friends won't hear it either, right?
TBD.
TBD. Okay, I'll go gently
Just don't
here.
use any names.
I'll just go gently here. You can tell who's in relationships and who's not. And you can kind of tell why the ones that aren't in relationships are not. They're running hot. They run real hot. Yeah. They're hitting it hard. They're loud. They're obnoxious. They're funny. Best ones on the dance floor. Best ones at the bar. Best ones in the pool. But they're like woof, woof, woof. They're not done.
No.
They're not done. They still got that wild streak going.
Yeah.
The people in the couples are like, oh, yeah, I'll dance some. I'll have some fun. But, man, those singles, they are single for a reason.
Maybe not all of them, in case you listen. I did have a lot of fun on the dance floor, though. I was like, I'd like to dance more. But my brother and his wife, Larson and Sarah, had like a very special relationship, marriage, wedding, and that they are college sweethearts. And so all of their friends are like mutual friends that they have seen. Oh, I just bit my lip. Have seen them through like their whole relationship, and
yes, it was amazing.
They've all been friends for
the speeches, the parties,
12 years. Like, and so like we're like, well, when we get married, our dance floor is not going to be that lit. There's
pretty depressing.
Not going to be as many people.
Pretty depressing. Like this was like seriously all of their college friends. It was a college reunion.
Yeah.
Is what it was.
Yeah.
And they'd all been in frat houses, sorority houses, something I've never experienced in my life. So I mean, it kind of made me go, gosh, I hope my kids consider the college experience because they're just such good friends. And like, again, the speeches and the laughter and just what was going on and who knows what wasn't going on at this place. Wow. And that made me feel really depressed about like if when we get married, when we get connected one day.
We're going to get married.
That word marriage is when we get souls bonded one day with whatever word that is called, who will be there? You'll have your friends, but like my friends and your friends, it's an interesting dynamics.
Well, yeah, it is. It is.
I mean, my high school friends are cool. I don't have college friends.
Yeah, my college. I mean, my two high school friends are the ones that were there, and I love them dearly, and they were the life of the party. But my college is where I met like some of my best friends in the world, and I mean, I did learn interesting things academically in college, but I think with the way the world's changing and how we've all talked about how the academic system needs a full fucking overhaul, like college, in a lot of ways, unless it's going to put you in a massive debt, is worthwhile because of the social experience and the social connections. The job I had for 10 years was because of connections I made in college. And so I don't know. I still am an advocate for college if you have a lot of disposable income laying around.
And one of the things that upset you was last weekend I took Sailor and Miles, the twins, to University of Oregon.
It didn't upset me.
No, just you're like going, you're pushing yourself pretty hard.
Yeah. I said, is there maybe another game a little further out you could take them to?
So we went to the University of Oregon game, and that was really fun for them to see that college lifestyle because Miles, my son, is like, I'm going to play quarterback for the University of Oregon. I'm like, well, that's yes, you are. Yes, you are. And I'm like, that's a big one because there's like 5 quarterbacks from the University of Oregon in the NFL starting right now. But that was so much fun, and the college experience is really fun. I felt like a college alum for a few days,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I kind of was there. And I got to meet a lot of the dudes, and we're pretty cool, like I didn't pick up any like digits. No, you guys like email or text or no, how do I meet new friends these days?
Snapchat.
Oh yeah, Snap. I didn't snap any of my new friends.
Yeah.
I don't have Snap.
Yeah. Good. Thank God.
Oh, all right. So that was a couple different stories. Have fun with that, editor. So
So, we had a bit of a rough day on Monday. We went to bed happy with each other.
yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah, because we got rid of the kids and it was just the two of us.
we love the kids, but definitely kids add stress to a relationship for sure. And the next day, Brian had a therapy session. And I was like, thank fucking God. I help arrange his therapy sessions because I help him with his schedule. And I did text the therapist, and I was like, he needs it.
Funny thing was, I walked into it going, I don't even think I need it. I really was like, I'm like having a good day. I'm like, I figured out that I just needed to pussy up and be stronger and be more confident and not get suppressed and feel all the weight of the world when I'm upsetting you, Sailor, my hunter, when I'm upsetting the people immediately near me. And, because if you upset somebody you don't know, do you really even care? And I try not to upset.
I definitely don't.
I try not to. Yeah, and that's where it is. So there it is.
What?
Right there. I don't. You said I don't. I don't. Well, I do. So let me explain to you what that is. Because in this therapy session, I rehash. My therapist is really great. She lets me have the first 15, 20 minutes dump on me. Yeah. She knows I'm just going to dump. Oh, but this happened, and this happened, this happened, this happened. And she goes, now, let's just take a look at what that was. And what we figured out, and like I said, you've been telling me this, and she's been telling me this. She told me this, and I was like, no, you've never mentioned this before in my life. And you said, no, I've been telling you that for like a year or years. And I'm like, no, I've never heard it before. Yesterday, I heard what I was finally supposed to hear, is that my decisions, so much of my decisions, now I'm completely engulfed in it, is based on guilt. Guilt. I respond to you, not like when in Italy where I said it was anger. I got so angry, I cracked. My body just lost it, right? Because I was so angry. I wasn't angry. I had guilt. I was like, oh, I failed. I'm not making you happy. I was on my phone. I should have been more present. I should have been more this. And guilt's just been my weight of my whole life.
Yeah.
I get into it with my daughter. She wants to do something. She wants to go there. I give in. I let her do it because I feel guilty, because of the divorce and because of she's a teenager and her friends and she, I need to make sure that everyone's getting along, and guilt. So I give in. Guilt. Everything's guilt. My mom's always had a lot of guilt. She the way her mannerisms are based on a ton of guilt. And then in the therapist session, we start going in my mind. She goes all the way through the family tree. Feel the guilt. This is not just your guilt. This guilt is so fully encompassing. This is a generational guilt.
Yeah.
It came from up the tree somewhere. So I'm like, oh my gosh, my grandfather on my mother's side killed himself,
yeah.
Right? That is a direct descendant from guilt,
yeah.
Right? My grandmother passed away 1 year after she retired because her whole life was about her job. She was guilty. She felt
she got self-worth from her job.
It was 100%. All her job was everything to her. She was an artist, and she painted for the old magazines back in the day when they drew people's clothes and here's the new sale at Meyer and Frank, and she did all that. It was beautiful art, beautiful pencil sketches of people and their new jacket on and stuff like that.
So she felt worthless after she didn't have a job anymore, and that was guilt related.
Positive, right? My mom's like, oh my God, she just gets to retirement and she felt she had nothing. My father had a horrible accident when he was younger, and a tragedy happened, and I know he felt the guilt of that his whole life. And that man drank and drank and drank his whole life. My stepfather had this whole he put guilt on us. He didn't feel the guilt, or maybe he did. It was his guilt.
Probably, I think when people put guilt on other people,
my brother and I,
rejection.
we were guilted into no value.
He felt so guilty. He felt guilty that he inherited all that money that that he didn't earn.
I probably, yes. So there was just, as I started looking, I just found this guilt. And my brother, there's things coming up in our lives when we were raised by, when we had to spend time with our crazy stepmother and the shit she did to us. There was just guilt and leverage and guilt. And I'm like going, oh my God, my whole fucking existence is fucking guilt riddled, you know? And she said, well, you've opened the door now. And she said, I'll promise you this. Once you get through this guilt, the other side of guilt is freedom and happiness. And she goes, you've got to your root cause. And what I thought was so amazing is that you've told me, and she's been telling me that you're surrounded in guilt. And I didn't hear it until fucking yesterday.
Yeah, no, I've told them this for years because one of our issues in some ways is his and no, I don't mean to be offensive with this, but his like lax parenting at times, which I feel that he doesn't enforce enough boundaries or consequences. And I know it's not because he's a bad parent. I see it's because he lives with so much guilt. And I'm like, it's not effective to parent from guilt. It's not helpful for your kids for you to parent from guilt. We've had these conversations and somehow he doesn't remember them at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't, you're right. I don't want to ever hurt my children. I feel, I just have this immense guilt. I put it into ChatGPT. I put my whole scenario. I asked it to reciprocate, like to spit it all out. And I did that last night and it was amazing going, hey, you've opened the door. Now it's time to start addressing that guilt. Start asking yourself when you respond, is this coming from guilt? What forms of love do I do out of guilt? You know, and so now I have so much work to do with that. But, you know, it's like when I felt that I got a hold of my anger a month ago, right? And I compartmentalized it and named it Little Joe. And now Little Joe seems fucking simple compared to guilt.
Yeah.
Like anger, I can really identify anger. I know what it looks like. I can see what it looks like. Guilt is this like hidden cloak and dagger kind of thing that is just lurking about everywhere.
Yeah, and it blends with love in your mind.
It blends with love in my mind.
Yeah.
Help me.
I mean, I'm very happy that we found a root cause, and for me, like I think it will just be so massive when you learn how to separate yourself from this guilt and not become one with this guilt, because I do think that's like the one thing that gets in the way of you emotionally supporting me at certain times when I need it, because instead of hearing what I'm actually saying, all you hear is I'm a failure, I did something wrong, I'm not measuring up. And of course you can't lean in and support me when you have this like crushing weight on top of you. Like you're already drowning in your guilt, so you don't have the capacity to then be there for me. And when you're able to release that, I think it'll be no problem at all, because you'll actually be able to hear what I'm saying or know what I actually mean, you know, and it won't be this massive weight. It'll probably actually you'll be happy to support me, happy to be like, "Oh, I'm happy to hold this space for her and let her know that I've got her." Like it'll be something that makes you feel good rather than something that adds another 200-pound weight to your back.
No, it's like a lot more than 200 pounds.
2,000.
Yeah, I was telling her about like I feel like the guy in the Da Vinci Code, right? The albino guy, great actor. I can't remember his name right now. Anyway, he tightens that thing on his leg, and it's sticking spikes into him. And he hits himself with like a fucking like chain. I do that to myself. Every time to see you cry is me just going, I did that. I made her cry. I did that. My daughter upset. I'm like just beating myself, like going, oh, I fucking piece of shit. I fucking did that. And it's just this massive guilt rather than me going, no, it's not me. It's not me that did that. You know, that's your stuff. Can I be confident enough in myself? And people, you know, who are like watching this going, oh, you know, fucking pussy up malarkey. The reality is that without why people drink, I think why people do drugs a lot when they're doing it as a coping mechanism is because they're fucking exactly like I am. Yeah. They are so engulfed in, you know how you can get rid of guilt? You can get fucking drunk. You can get blacked out drunk. You can get drunk. You can get fucking high. You can microdose some mushrooms and it'll all go away until tomorrow or the next day. And then you're just going to be like, gosh, why do I not feel good? Why do I feel bad about the situation? Why do I feel like a failure? Why do I feel like this? It's because you have this guilt. And, I don't understand generational trauma. I'm like, that's pretty intensive shit can come through, through generations. But my whole family has been based on guilt, everyone in my lineage. And then I did this exercise where I was like letting the guilt out, and like, not taking ownership for it and pushing it up through my family tree, going, you guys can keep it up there, right? And then I was like, oh gosh, and it felt to me, it's like black, just pushing up the family tree. And then all of a sudden she's like, how's it going? I was like, she's still black. And then it was like, finally got to purple, and then like some reds, and then some greens, and then blues and yellows. And I was like, oh, I got it. And I was like locking the fucking doors. I got it off my brother too, because he's got the same shit. And I'm locking us up from our generation. And I helped Mamie out, my mom, a little bit, because she's still alive. I'm like, oh, help Mamie out. And I looked down the line, I was like, fuck, I got to help the ex-wife out too, because that's my kids. I was like, so in my mind, I'm going and looking up her tree, and I'm like, well, shit, she doesn't really have any guilt at all. And I'm like, well, she's doing okay. So and I was like, fuck, I got to check out Harley. I'm just flying around my brain right here. And I'm like, fuck, she doesn't have any guilt either. And I'm like, geez, my whole family's just black and blue and purple with guilt. And I got the big doors locked, and Harley, and I'm like looking at Hal, and I'm like, these guys don't have any guilt over there. Like, so I'm like, okay, I come up, and then I told her about it later. I was like, went to help you, and I go, you don't have any guilt. And you just said, yeah, I don't have any guilt.
I don't.
I was like, how?
I don't know if it was a conscious choice or a subconscious choice, but my mom was, and I remember this from a young age, was like the guiltiest person I had ever met in my life. Like, she felt guilty about the smallest things, and this guilt would just consume her, and it made her just like so weak and so fragile because she was always so guilty, and I hated that about her. Not that I hated that for her, I think. Like, I hated seeing what it did to her. And my dad was the complete opposite. Like, I don't, maybe too far. Like, I don't know that he's ever felt remorse in his life, Not literally. He's not a sociopath. He's become more empathetic, but zero guilt, zero observable guilt. Also has an alcohol problem. But if you've listened to this podcast before, my mom died of a drug overdose. And I don't think it was all guilt that killed her, but I think in many ways that led to her demise. And I think as a kid, I had these two examples of like, don't let the world bring me down, or let the world drown me. And I was like, I'm not going to let the world bring me down. And I think that part of it comes from like, I feel like I do have a lot of like self-esteem. Like, I really like myself, and I believe that I have really good intentions. Like, I know that I'm never intentionally trying to harm somebody. So sometimes I'll occasionally feel very briefly guilty of like, oh shoot, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But then I'm either like, okay, do I want to apologize to this person, or do I want to let it go? And I'll make a decision, and then it doesn't live with me anymore. But I think a lot of it is just like, I'm not saying that you don't like yourself or you don't think that you have good intentions, but for me, I'm like, well, why would I ever feel guilty? I'm never trying to be bad.
I got some work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I look at like my work life, my like so many other things, like what I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot of work to do, but I'm super excited to do it. Like the Great Buffalo, I will run through the storm. I will get to the other side. I will be guilt-free-ish.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like like as I said, I sometimes experience guilt, but it's like, how can it be a fleeting thing rather than something you carry? Like, you can say, "Oh, I feel guilty." Now that's an opportunity for me to look at my behavior with clear eyes. Like, did I actually do something that was hurtful to somebody else? How do I make that right? Or is this, generational guilt and I shouldn't feel guilty? How do I let that go? Like, your guilt is a compass
Yeah.
of, and
And our therapist, Chat GPT, also was kind of like going, you'll be a much better parent and get a lot more respect, and you will stop this generational guilt by setting boundaries and saying no and having the discipline. And it will feel, that's is what Regina, the therapist, also said. She said, in your core what is the right answer, right? Like, you know when you should set boundaries. You know when you should say no. You know that. But your guilt says, yeah, but we could make it like this, and it'd be, a little easier and like this. Like, saying no and having the boundaries will be harder at first, is what she's telling me. But then once they're set, you'll have a better relationship, better boundaries. The teens will feel more secure, more safe than just having that, like, oh, okay, that like kind of broken boundaries, the weak fence. They will know that they have a structure which allows them to blossom and grow.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm looking forward to that. But it said it will get shittier.
Oh, I know, because it's broken.
That's why we didn't touch it, because they did say it will get shittier. It will get shittier before it gets better. So I have that to look forward to.
Because when people aren't used to you upholding boundaries, and then you uphold a boundary, it's like, what the fuck? This isn't how I'm used to, and change is hard for everybody. And I think, children will probably rebel against additional boundaries for a while to see how far they can push, and then when realizing, like, oh, I can't really push anymore, that's when I think the real magic comes in.
Oh, the glories of sobriety, the glories of facing your troubles head on is wild. But there is victories. It's not like we're just in the mud all the time. It's in all of these little discoveries, we still are finding a lot more happiness.
There's seasons, I think. I mean, I think, this has been like a rough season, but I think until the past couple days when I had my personal breakdown, like you and I were getting along very well. I was stressed and you were tired, but we were happy.
We were a good old couple. That was so fun. We were both just like, oh.
And now we are again. But it's highs and lows. And then there are periods, I feel like, of healing where you just like, it's kind of steady for a while, like 6 months at a time. You're like, oh, this is steady. And you think you're healed. And then the universe is like, nope, not so fast, bitch.
Woo! Again, for that piece of shit who says we're toxic, like, this is like, we're releasing toxic. We are trying to get rid of the toxins out of our lives right here, and we're trying to take people on a journey so that they can be motivated, or they know they're on the path already and they have people who are on it with them.
Yeah, and we're doing this for ourselves and for our future generations, like for your children, for our future child or children. You're like, I don't really understand generational trauma, but this is what you do to end generational trauma, is you heal yourself. And I don't fully understand this, but time is not linear. And I've been told by multiple spiritual people that as we heal ourselves, we actually go back and heal the generations behind us. And I think that that's a really, really beautiful thing.
Yeah, I had a dream about my grandmother. We call her Tita on my father's side last night. And we're both Libras. And she gave me like a gift that was like said Libra on it, but it said the wrong date. And I was like, no, I'm the 26th and this is the 29th. And she goes, you're a Libra. Don't worry about it. And then she gave me a dustpan, right? Like, this is deep, right? And I was like, what's the dustpan for, Tita? And she goes, clean up your mess. And I was like, thank you, my great spirit guide, Tita. I appreciate the dustpan. Might I get a broom with that? Wow. So that's what we're doing out here on the Harley Malarkey podcast, is we're making a mess and we're trying to clean it up.
Yeah.